Picture this. You wake up one morning, reach for your phone, and notice that your favorite app, TikTok, is at the center of a global storm. Not because it is falling out of favor, but because it has become the linchpin in a contest involving governments, technology giants, regulators, and billionaire investors. Imagine if the fate of a single social media platform could alter the trajectory of the entire global technology industry for years, or perhaps even generations. This is not a work of speculative fiction. This is the reality unfolding before our eyes. Right now, the world is witnessing a high-stakes drama that could redefine who truly holds the reins over the technology we use daily. To truly understand how we arrived at this crossroads, let's take a step back and trace TikTok's remarkable journey. TikTok began as a short video platform, but quickly became a cultural juggernaut, amassing hundreds of millions of users from Asia to the Americas and from Europe to Africa. It revolutionized the way content is created and consumed, giving rise to viral dances, comedic sketches, and hashtag challenges that ripple across the globe in a matter of hours. In the United States alone, TikTok has reshaped music charts, influenced fashion trends, and even played a role in political discourse. Its impact is so profound that politicians, artists, and brands all compete for attention on its endlessly scrolling feed. But beneath the surface of catchy tunes and bite-sized comedy, a deeper struggle is underway. It is a struggle for control over data, algorithms, and influence. Who gets to decide what content you see? Who safeguards or exploits your personal information? These questions are at the core of the global debate. Over the past several years, governments and regulatory bodies, particularly in the United States and across Europe, have turned a critical eye toward TikTok. The primary concerns, data privacy, national security, and the mysterious algorithms that shape the digital experience of millions. James Lewis of the Center for Strategic and International Studies underscores the gravity of the situation, stating, "The United States government is serious about data security. Any deal must meet stringent national security requirements." Yet this standoff is not simply about ideology or policy. It is also about money and power. Enormous amounts of capital are at stake, as well as the future of digital dominance. In an effort to address concerns, TikTok has invested approximately $1.5 billion in data localization projects. These investments are not just for show. They have led to the construction of new data centers, the migration of cloud storage to local providers, and the hiring of thousands of cybersecurity experts. These are tangible efforts to convince governments that user information is shielded from foreign interference. Despite these massive expenditures, TikTok's business remains robust in certain areas. In the second quarter of the year 2025, TikTok's e-commerce sales jumped by 15%, a notable accomplishment in a competitive market. However, there is a twist. During the same period, user growth slowed dramatically to just 3%. A significant departure from the rapid double-digit increases that defined TikTok's early years. This deceleration is not just a blip, it is a signal that the platform's exponential expansion may be reaching its limits, at least in established markets. What's driving this shift? Recent studies have found that roughly 62% of American TikTok users are contemplating a switch to competing platforms if TikTok cannot guarantee stronger data privacy protections. This is not merely a statistical footnote, it is a warning flare for TikTok and every other social media platform that relies on user trust. It reflects a broader trend. People are becoming more aware of the value of their personal data and increasingly demand transparency and control. Into this swirling mix enters former President Donald Trump, a figure who is never far from the center of controversy. In a recent interview with Fox News, Trump made headlines by claiming he has identified a group of wealthy buyers ready to acquire TikTok from its Chinese parent company, ByteDance. But as with any deal of this magnitude, there is a major caveat. The transaction would require the approval of Chinese regulators, an outcome far from certain. Paul Triolo of Eurasia Group warns, China's approval is a wild card. They won't easily relinquish control over the algorithm. This is not a simple business transaction. It is a geopolitical chess match with consequences that ripple far beyond technology or entertainment. On one side, American lawmakers are pushing for tighter controls, arguing that TikTok poses unacceptable risks to national security. They fear that Chinese authorities could, in theory, access user data or influence content. On the other side, Chinese regulators are reluctant to cede control over a symbol of China's technological ascendancy. The stakes are high, and every move is scrutinized by stakeholders around the world. As Dan Ives of Wedbush Securities puts it, the TikTok saga is far from over. Regulatory hurdles remain a major obstacle. The path forward is tangled, requiring navigation through layers of legal, economic, and political barriers, not just in the United States and China, but also in the European Union and a host of other markets where concerns about data sovereignty and user rights are mounting. TikTok is not a passive player in this unfolding story. The company has stepped up its investment in advanced artificial intelligence systems for content moderation, seeking to reassure both users and regulators. In recent pilot programs, these AI systems have succeeded in reducing harmful content by 40%, a significant leap forward in the fight against misinformation, cyberbullying, and toxic online behavior. Carolina Milanese of Creative Strategies emphasizes, data privacy is paramount. Any buyer must prioritize user trust to succeed. So, what happens next? The future of TikTok is hanging in the balance, and the decisions made in the coming months could set precedents for the entire technology sector for decades. Scenario 1. The high-profile sale. Former President Trump claims to have assembled a group of affluent American investors ready to purchase TikTok. But the path to a successful sale is littered with obstacles. The Chinese government, fiercely protective of the TikTok algorithm, holds a powerful veto. As Paul Triolo reiterates, China's approval is a wild card. They won't easily relinquish control over the algorithm. Even if the deal clears Beijing's hurdles, it will face intense scrutiny from American regulators, particularly the Committee on Foreign Investment, which will comb through every detail to ensure national security is protected. In Europe, compliance with the General Data Protection Regulation, known as GDPR, adds another layer of complexity. Karen Kornblue of the German Marshall Fund cautions, Europe is watching closely. TikTok's compliance with GDPR is crucial for its global future. Scenario 2. Heightened restrictions. If the sale falls apart or fails to satisfy privacy concerns, lawmakers in the United States and Europe could impose even stricter controls on TikTok. Already, over 60% of American users say they are prepared to abandon the platform if privacy protections do not improve. Imagine the repercussions: a mass migration to rival platforms such as YouTube Shorts, Instagram Reels, or up-and-coming apps like Triller or Lemonade. This could tilt the balance of power in social media virtually overnight, prompting a surge in innovation as platforms compete for users by offering better privacy and creative features. Scenario 3. Transformation and diversification. TikTok is not sitting idly by, waiting for its fate to be decided. The company is actively reinventing itself. Beyond its $1.5 billion investment in data protection, TikTok is expanding its e-commerce ecosystem. The 15% surge in e-commerce sales in the second quarter of 2025 signals a deliberate move to diversify revenue streams and reduce dependency on advertising. Rita McGrath of Columbia Business School notes, TikTok needs to diversify its revenue streams to reduce reliance on advertising. If TikTok can successfully evolve into a multifaceted platform, blending entertainment, commerce, education, and live events, it could emerge from this turmoil more resilient than ever. The strengthened artificial intelligence-driven content moderation, which has already reduced harmful material by 40% in trials, is a critical component of this transformation. By employing sophisticated machine learning to spot misinformation and abusive content, TikTok aims to build a safer, more reliable environment for creators and consumers alike. But the TikTok saga is only one chapter in a much broader narrative playing out worldwide. Governments everywhere are rethinking the rules of the digital game. In Europe, the GDPR sets a high bar for user consent, data portability, and the right to be forgotten. Non-compliance can lead to fines in the hundreds of millions of dollars, a fact that keeps even the biggest tech companies on their toes. Karen Kornblue points out, Europe is watching closely. TikTok's compliance with GDPR is crucial for its global future. In Asia, the response has been even sharper. India, once one of TikTok's largest markets, banned the app outright, citing national security concerns and a desire to nurture domestic alternatives. In Australia, Canada, and Japan, lawmakers are debating new laws that could require foreign-owned apps to be more transparent and to store data locally. The result is a world where digital borders are becoming as real and as fiercely defended as physical ones. What does this upheaval mean for you, the everyday user, the aspiring creator, or the business owner who relies on TikTok for outreach and community building? In the immediate term, Your TikTok experience might seem unchanged. You scroll, you laugh, you share. But beneath the surface, major shifts are underway. If you earn income or build your brand on TikTok, now is a crucial time to hedge your bets. Start following your favorite creators on multiple platforms. Back up your videos and content to secure cloud storage or external drives. Keep a close watch on updates to privacy policies and terms of service, as these can change rapidly in a volatile regulatory environment. For brands and marketers, TikTok's expanding e-commerce capabilities and improved artificial intelligence moderation present both new opportunities and new risks. The 15% jump in e-commerce sales is proof that consumers are ready to shop within the app, but trust is fragile. Any misstep, whether a privacy breach or a regulatory crackdown, could send users fleeing to competitors. The key lesson: in the fast-changing digital marketplace, flexibility and adaptability are essential. If privacy is your top concern, now is the moment to be proactive. Audit the data you share, both knowingly and unwittingly. Learn about how your personal information is collected, stored, and monetized by various platforms. Consider adopting privacy-focused browsers, encrypted messaging apps, and virtual private networks. Remember, your data is valuable, and companies that fail to protect it may lose your loyalty for good. Looking further ahead, what if TikTok is forced to withdraw from Western markets? Such a scenario would be unprecedented, disrupting the digital lives of millions, especially younger generations for whom TikTok is more than an app, but a cultural home, a creative stage, and even a livelihood. The departure of TikTok could foster a new wave of digital entrepreneurs, creators who migrate to other platforms and rebuild their communities from scratch. It could also accelerate the fragmentation of the global internet, as countries carve out their own digital spheres governed by local laws and customs. History offers some revealing parallels. Consider the rise and fall of MySpace, once the undisputed king of social media, dethroned by Facebook's relentless innovation. Or recall Vine, the short-form video platform that collapsed, paving the way for Instagram stories and ultimately TikTok itself. Each time, the end of one era created space for new opportunities and new challenges. The difference now is the scale and complexity. In the 21st century, social media is not just a place to share jokes or photos. It is the front line of influence, commerce, politics, and even national security. The economic stakes are staggering. ByteDance, TikTok's parent company, is valued in the hundreds of billions of dollars, making it one of the world's most valuable startups. The outcome of the TikTok saga could impact international stock markets, investment flows, and the long-term strategies of other technology giants like Meta, Alphabet, and Microsoft. If TikTok is sold, who will benefit? Will it be American investors, Chinese shareholders, or new players from regions like the Middle East or Europe, all eager to claim a slice of the digital future? Expert voices echo these concerns. Dan Ives of Wedbush Securities cautions, the TikTok saga is far from over. Regulatory hurdles remain a major obstacle. Carolina Milanesi warns, data privacy is paramount. Any buyer must prioritize user trust to succeed. Rita McGrath advises, TikTok needs to diversify its revenue streams to reduce reliance on advertising. Paul Triolo reminds us, China's approval is a wild card. They won't easily relinquish control over the algorithm. James Lewis reiterates, the United States government is serious about data security. Any deal must meet stringent national security requirements. Karen Kornblue emphasizes, Europe is watching closely. TikTok's compliance with GDPR is crucial for its global future. Let's not ignore the numbers. Despite TikTok's massive reputation and cultural dominance, user growth has slowed dramatically, to just 3% in the last quarter. For a platform accustomed to spectacular double-digit growth, this signals a turning point. It could indicate that users are becoming more cautious, or that the app is reaching saturation in mature markets. Either way, it adds urgency to the complex debates about TikTok's future. But the TikTok saga is not playing out in isolation. It is part of a global reckoning about the power and responsibilities of technology companies. In recent years, we have seen governments worldwide wrestle with questions of data privacy, algorithmic transparency, and digital sovereignty. The General Data Protection Regulation in Europe has set a global benchmark, with its strict requirements for user consent, data minimization, and the right to erase personal information. In Asia and the Americas, similar debates rage about the influence of foreign technology platforms and the need for greater local control. For consumers, creators, and companies alike, this means uncertainty but also opportunity. If TikTok is sold or restricted, new platforms will rise to fill the void. If data privacy becomes a top priority, companies that deliver real security and transparency will earn the trust and business of a wary public. On the other hand, if governments overreach, the internet could become more closed, less innovative, and more divided along national lines. What practical steps can you take as the digital world shifts beneath your feet? Stay informed by following credible news sources and expert analysis. Ask tough questions about who controls your data and how it is used. Support platforms that champion privacy and innovation. Diversify your online presence. Don't rely on a single app or service for all your social or professional needs. And above all, make your voice heard. The future of technology is not just decided by executives or politicians, but by the daily choices of billions of users like you. So, what do you think? Should TikTok be sold to American investors, regulated more tightly, or even banned in certain countries? Would you keep using TikTok if its ownership changed? Or are you already exploring alternatives? Share your thoughts in the comments section below. If you want to stay ahead of the curve on global technology, economics, and the digital future, subscribe and ring the notification bell. Remember, the next digital revolution could be happening right now, right on your phone. Stay curious,